Hello, hello, hello,
Right,
hello.
hello
Hello,
guys.
YouTube.
Episode 6, we're recording.
We back.
We're back after like 2 months, I don't even know how long.
Yeah, God damn at this point.
Oh, it's been so bloody long. It's nice to be back.
Yeah, and before we start anything, I would like to start this podcast with congratulations, my G, to Spiros
Oh
for
my
getting
god.
the engagement party. We
Thank you,
had to
thank
do it.
you.
We have to congratulate him.
Thank you very
Congratulations
much.
again.
Thank you. I was glad you came. My best man.
I had my
And my
best man.
partner in crime. Yeah. So yeah,
Well,
guys. After our start, we want basically to start the podcast with going back to the ghost stories because we were really interested
ooh,
and you guys liked it. I can see some people um had a had basically listened to our podcast. What do you think?
yeah, I'm enjoying it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying
I
it
love
as
ghost
always.
stories.
Yeah. So what we're gonna be doing today? We're gonna be going to there's a subreddit again. I know. There's a subreddit
Ready for
which
the content?
yeah they give us content so why not?
Ready for
Um.
the free content.
So yeah, so there's a subreddit. It's called Ghost Stories on Reddit, obviously, and it's basically about people that were telling like say your real life story about a paranormal activity. So we're gonna be doing
Yeah.
this. We're gonna be going through the stories that they say, and we're gonna be saying, for example, our opinion if it's like if it's bollocks or if it's actually like there's might be some true in it.
Yeah,
And yeah, let's go.
I
So
think yeah,
there's
should be.
it should be, yeah, it should be.
I think usually when it's like there is some people who lie on these ones, but I think sometimes it's like because nobody knows who you are, you can like say some crazy shit that happened to you that
Hmm.
you will normally would not say it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's
that's
why I
true.
enjoy reading from them.
That is true. So there is one. So the title for one of them is "My imaginary friend was not imaginary." That
Never
is,
had one.
I never had one either. So let's see what he says. One night my dad could hear me speaking loudly, so he came to check on me. I was 6 or 7. He found me at the end of the bed talking to absolutely no one. When he turned the lights on, I got startled and leaped under the covers. He asked who I was talking to, but I didn't want to say. I didn't want to say anything. So we sat on like. So he was around 6 or 7. He was talking to his imaginary friend. His dad walked in, or her dad walked in. It's not really doesn't really say the gender, but yeah. So this person goes on and says, I had been talking to my imaginary friend. He had asked me to please not tell anyone about him because he didn't want to leave. I remember clearly seeing him, a blonde kid with green eyes who told me his name was Y. I tried to be quiet because I didn't want my dad to come back. Once I got caught again, I started keeping a diary where I would communicate by writing my questions and answers so nobody could hear me.
Jesus,
Bro,
that's
if
funny.
I was a dad, I would just leave the house, man.
Oh,
Just fuck off the kid.
nah, nah.
Nah,
The
miss
kid
with
is
that
too much
shit.
imaginary. That's probably the thing.
I'm, yeah,
I will not do him be mad.
I'm gonna
I
go get the
mean,
milk.
here the only thing you will think as a father is probably your kid doesn't have friends. You know what I mean?
Probably, yeah,
Probably
okay.
this guy needs some friends.
Bro,
I
I'm
assume he's a
leaving.
guy because he says that the other person was a guy as well. So usually, like females will have like a female, but
Yeah.
that's cap. I think because one of my cousin had one and he was a male as well, imaginary friend, which I will talk after this
Story,
story
yeah.
finishes to tell you my story.
So he keeps going on and says about the imaginary friend. He told me some horrible things about his parents and how they were part of something really bad. He told me that if I looked through the socket in the kitchen above the oven, I would see where they put the ones they helped harm. So I did. My dad walked in on me as I'm literally looking through the socket and saw stained glass, like what you would see in a church or something. He asked me what I was doing and I got really scared and told him what I saw. He looked and saw nothing. He reassured me nothing was in the wall. He later found my diary. Oh my god, and it was disturbing. He started asking questions about why and telling me that I didn't have to be afraid of telling the truth. So I told him. Why he told me that the bodies are under the house?
What
My
the?
dad,
What just happened? Jesus
my dad
Christ!
was
This is
genuinely.
transparent.
Listen to this. My dad was genuinely terrified, and so he started to research our property. Turns out our home was built over a church graveyard during the Second World War. I never saw or heard from Why again. Oh.
Well, why said that? You're a rat. You're a rat, so he didn't want to hang out with rats anymore. You fucking ratted him out.
So I think with this it's probably like this guy, I mean why, the imaginary friend, let's say if it was real, right? Um
Yeah,
it gives me the vibe of this kind of being real because of like if you genuinely found that your house is under a bloody graveyard, then the bodies are basically like buried but they're not recognized, you know what I
yeah.
mean? They might be trapped there, like
My only problem with this one is why everything is always buried, like is built above like a graveyard. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever
yeah.
heard that here?
But
Like, I've
yes,
never heard it in my
I tell you,
country, like anywhere, like things getting
yeah,
built on
yeah.
top of a graveyard.
I tell you what though, you have to remember
I
that.
always think that it's cap. Every time I hear about
Yeah.
something getting built on top of a graveyard, I think it's
No,
always a
no.
cap,
Let me tell you
but I
something
could be
though.
wrong.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna change your mind, okay? So
Yeah,
you've been to London, right? So I
yeah, yeah.
mean, yeah. So you know Maswell Hill, like next to Alexandra Palace in North London.
Okay, yeah,
So that in let's say where the plague was, or the Black Plague
yeah,
was,
yeah.
that used to be a massive graveyard. They used to dump the bodies in there, in that hill. And
Okay,
now,
I know what you mean on that one because I think Liverpool Station has the same thing where I think like
exactly.
the they used
So
to burn the bodies there, and now they
if you remember, like there's only buildings there now. There's only houses up there. Like if you go on the hill, there's only houses up there. So you telling me there's not like graveyards, massive graveyards under the houses?
yeah, God knows, God knows. It's always like
Exactly.
there is always something happening on some house getting built on top of a graveyard, bro.
Yeah, man, I
Guys,
know.
make your research, okay? Just make sure your house
UK
is
is
not.
creepy for that. UK is creepy for that because
But
the Black
UK is
Plague.
creepy as well. It's not just that. It's like basically the houses that we live, they're old. They're way old compared to like other countries where you build new houses again. So I don't know how many people have died in this house that I live in, bro. There could be like hundreds of people have died in this
Bro,
house
I
that I live.
used to live in
But
a
my house is
house
okay.
where it was from like the 1800s, so I think the
Yeah.
person before we went into the house was an old lady, so she died there. And then we renovated and we got in. So yeah, so I must be like, my imaginary friend might be an old lady. To be honest, I don't, I wish I
Man,
had one.
man, I'm telling you, these old houses are weird. So every night, basically, my room is on the second floor, as you remember, right?
Yeah.
You have seen the stairs that you go up in the second floor. It's like wooden stairs. Every night I get up those wooden stairs, it feels like somebody's following me, you know? Like I can hear somebody stairs like steps behind me, but it's just the stairs. But it feels like somebody's following you. That's the only creepy thing about this house that I have nothing else. That I have not seen anything in the last 5 years except
Yeah.
for this. Every night I get up those stairs, I always look back, bro. I cannot not look back. I don't know. I know what is happening, but I still look back.
You just
Yeah,
look
it's
back. Yeah, I
oh
know what you mean.
man.
I don't. It's like a
Have
really
to,
old.
you
Everything.
have your brain always, it's night, your brain is always terrified at night. Every noise, your brain will
Yeah.
immediately look back, even if you know what it is.
Yeah, I used to have something else, when I'm a passenger and like someone is driving the car at night time, my brain always trying to make like when you don't see a lot of the stuff if you drive in a really night place, like there is no
Yeah.
lights or anything. When I'm a passenger, I don't drive, someone else driving. My brain just like if I think of something, it's so weird. If I think of something, my brain tries to like create it in front of me, if that makes any sense. Like
Yeah, I know.
put the
It's like the brain,
yeah,
brain
put
is a
the
bit
puzzles
mind
together. Yeah.
crazy.
So maybe something like that. It's like, I've got
On the
another
road
one.
thing,
Yeah.
on the road thing, remember the guy that I told you that he saw the ghost when he was working, the guy, the colleague of mine that he
Yeah.
was working in the first episode, the
Yeah.
Muslim guy?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? He lives close to Epping Forest. I don't know about if you know about Epping Forest.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's here in London. And basically, Epping Forest is like a graveyard of like bodies. Like people will kill people and just hide them there, because it's like a big forest. So it's very hard to find anything. So like a lot of people will just kill and dump the bodies
Yeah.
there. So his father basically they live close by, and it's like 2 a.m. at night or something. And his father was coming back from work or whatever, and he was in the car, and he sees two random people in the middle of the forest. Like in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like the road, and there's like forest from both sides, and it's just a road in the middle.
Mm.
So he was going through that road, and there's just like two people randomly 2 a.m. at night in the road, and he just like but she's like he thinks that is weird, but he just like it can happen, for whatever reason. Two people are like out
Yeah.
there at night, and he just walks at them, and they turn their head towards him, and he sees their eyes, and they are fucking red,
Uh.
and uh, and then he thinks that is the light of the car, like maybe it's the light of the car
Yeah.
that makes their eyes red. And then he walks by them, he looks at them, and he cannot see their faces. He looks
Mm.
back from the mirror, and he sees them again looking at him still with the red eyes again now.
I think.
And then
Yeah.
and then he just left. He just like speed run it. He said, "Fuck that shit," and he just speed run it, and he went home.
No, I
I mean,
think to be with London, I'll tell you what.
I'm just saying, bro. I don't know what happened there.
Let me tell you, okay? Let me tell you. With London, I think it was like probably some crackheads, you know.
No,
There's
that's
quite a
what
few.
he was thinking as well. But it was a weird encounter, bro. I'm telling you, it
Yeah, I
was a
know, I
weird one.
know. I've had they do like random like drugs, we say, and you never know
I
what they
I
are.
have seen crackers as well. I know what you mean. Like
Yeah.
I've seen these guys at night. I know what you mean about that. But yeah, that's about it. But let's go back to our imaginary friend. We forgot about him.
Oh yeah, go on about your cousin, Alan, an imaginary
Oh,
friend.
it's not a scary, really a scary one, but it's a story that it just pop up in my mind immediately after you sent me this link of the
Yeah,
imaginary friend. So I have one of my like she's the cousin of my cousin in a way. Like she's not really my cousin. So she's basically uh so her father, my cousin's father, is my mother's brother,
yeah.
and they are cousins basically from the mother side, So technically they're not nothing to me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You get it? Yeah. But I know them because they live like close to each other, and I used to go back to my cousin's house a lot, so they used to play all together. So, anyways, the younger sister, she had like an imaginary friend for like a portion of time there, and I think his name was Tsabikos, classic road
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
And remember back in the days that we used to watch Paranormal Activities?
yeah,
Remember Paranormal Activities 3,
yeah.
where
With the little
uh,
kids.
where the lady she was a virgin and the demon wanted
Oh,
her.
yeah,
They needed to kill a virgin,
yeah.
and they hated the guy, her boyfriend, because he was trying to take the virginity. You remember the guy? He was like always swearing, and he was like an idiot. And then just like
Yeah.
the kid pokes at him and tells him, Toby doesn't like you.
I think that was the fourth one.
Yeah, the fourth one probably. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that was the fourth one, yeah.
And she comes, and I was like talking, and I swear for a moment, like there, it just came naturally.
Yeah.
And she just looks at me with this anger in her face. She looks at me and she's like, Sabiko doesn't like you. And that shit popped in my mind immediately. I said, nope,
I'm
I'm out of this
gone.
one.
I'm okay, it's a bit no worries,
I
man.
don't
You
want the
stay in the
same ending.
house, I'm leaving.
I don't want the same ending, bro.
Bro, you just say I'm leaving, it's okay. It's okay, I'm leaving, Tampico, don't worry. I'm going home.
We were all looking like, hey, and I'm like, bro, I'm not having the same ending as that guy.
Bro, it's okay, man, you can have the house.
Hey, sorry, bro. I immediately turned. I said, sorry to make up my bad, G.
See you, bye bye. It's okay, I'm leaving, don't
Bro,
worry. You
I'm
stay.
out.
Oh
You know
my
something? I'm
god.
out, G.
I
Bro,
would be
like,
out. I would be
it's
out a long
funny, but
time
let's
ago.
shit like let's shit schedule it. But like, she looks at me with this anger, and she's like, "Chapico doesn't like me." I'm like, "Shit." Oh man.
Shit, I'm
Yeah, this
I'm
comes
not
in
gonna
my
make
mind
it.
always. Every time people talk about imaginary friend, this one comes in my mind immediately, man.
No,
I
I'm not
never
gonna
had an
make it.
imaginary friend. I don't
Shit.
remember having one. Maybe I had, and I don't remember, but
Oh,
I never
I don't think I
remember it.
did.
So
I find it
yeah,
a bit weird to have it, but I had
I don't think it's weird. I think it's mostly that I think people who just didn't have many friends or like you were
yeah,
alone for too long in your house or something because that happens.
probably as you say. I
Because
don't
your
know.
brain needs to talk to somebody, it needs to
Yeah,
entertain itself.
yeah, that's true.
So
Well,
probably that way.
I think we should move on.
Yeah.
And we have a different like a kind of different story. Now this is quite interesting because we're moving from that to imaginary friends. We're moving to like paranormal activity in the army. So there
Oh,
is, yeah. So that's quite interesting because it's like it's from people. I've seen a lot of stories
I
about,
have an
especially
army
when they.
story. Why do I have so many ghost stories?
I don't know, bro. You weird as
I have an
well.
army ghost story as well, but I
It's
may have
okay. Let
said
me
it in the
say.
first episode though. I don't remember if I said it on the first episode.
Sorry. I'll tell you if you did, but
I
I'm gonna
talk to
say
many
this
people.
one.
When I
Yeah.
talk to people, I'm that guy who's gonna ask you if you have a ghost story. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if I know you for a little while, eventually I'm gonna ask you the story. Do you believe in ghosts? And if you have any ghost stories, that's why.
So I've got like so I've got this guy here. It wasn't him necessarily that basically went through it. It was his uncle, and the title is
Yeah.
My Uncle's Paranormal Experience in the Army. So my uncle was in the army about 15 years in Afghanistan, and he saw many
Damn.
things that were frightening or unnatural, but this one was unexplainable. Like they couldn't explain it at all. My family, my mom's side in specific, has a very in tune connection with the spiritual for whatever reason. And so this story wasn't shocking, but confusing, considering I'm unsure what it was he saw. He was in this hospital and it was very busy and full of injured soldiers and people. He was working very late at night, that night, and by the time he was leaving, everyone was gone. It was completely empty except for a few people. He had to visit an area of the hospital before he left. An office in the hospital's downstairs. That's where nobody was completely, it was just him. He watched as a pair. Don't even know this guy writing that well. Sorry, just one second. I'm just trying to make sense of his writing. He watched as a pair flew off the desk naturally. He was tired and confused, so he turned around to pick them up. But that's when he
Yeah.
was greeted by a single eye, a single floating human eyeball. He said it stared at him, never breaking eye contact. It was his height too. There was no figure outline, it was just one single eyeball. Does anyone know what this could have been? Um, I think he was
Smoking some of that
tired.
good stuff.
I
Smoking
think,
some of that good stuff. Probably.
probably.
You
I
know what
th
I mean? To
yeah,
take that pain away, you may be drunk a little bit.
yeah. I think he was
But
tired and he saw the eye.
here, the
Like,
first one,
yeah,
the first line here, my family is a little bit connection with the spiritual. I don't know about the connection with spiritual, but I think some people have more like sixth sense than other people
yeah,
because I swear to God, I've told you before about my workplace in the second like above my workplace. Basically, my workplace is below, and the second floor is just for the staff members.
yeah,
It's just me and another girl that we can feel that something is going up there, but nobody else can feel anything. You know what I mean? So I think some people may have like a more connection, like this guy
yeah.
says it, but
Bro,
that's
I
about
think
it.
you
Like
may
I don't think
you
it
might need
works
to
anything, but
change.
I feel like you feel something more than other people.
Yeah, I think you might need to change your workspace. You might need a new job. Do you know what I
Bro,
mean?
I'm telling you, something is going on my second floor on the staff room.
You
Something
might
is
need to
going on.
leave. I know what you mean. But yeah, you were saying about you
Everybody
have an
repeats
army story?
something. So this one is like a straight up true story, and it's like I mean I cannot prove it,
Straight up
but
true, I cannot prove it's true. I know what you
but
mean, go on.
like is basically his own files. Like it happened on the army, and like when you have to like after a mission, you have to like report. So
Yeah.
his own report, like own report file. Like it wasn't
Mm.
non-reported or something, and somebody saw something and then just ignored it. Or they had to report that. They reported it as an identified person. Like they couldn't just like they didn't know what it was. So
Yeah.
basically, what happened is it was between the borders of two countries,
Mhm.
and just in case, I will not say which countries they were, because I don't know if the guy wants to know I don't know if there's any like problems with giving information from the army. I don't know, so that's why. So it's between two borders of a country, and from one country they jump to his country. So basically, from the other country they jump to his country,
Yeah.
and he was like in the radar duty, like on the radars. That's
Yeah.
his job in the army. And he basically they saw in the radars that somebody came in through the fence, and it's like a big ass fence. And they saw, like, they literally saw him physically jumping through like in a huge fence, and they were like confused on how he did it. But anyways, like, in your opinion, like at that point, that's not what you're thinking. What you're thinking is somebody got in your country, you have to go and stop them. So they're
Yeah,
chasing him.
invader. Yeah.
So yeah, they're chasing him, and he goes inside like a small house that was close thereby, like a storeroom or something. So they like surround him, and they open the door and they walk in, and there's no one there,
Ah.
and they cannot find it. There was nothing there, and they had to just report that an unidentified object passed through the fence, went inside there, and just disappeared. And they couldn't find him in the radars. They couldn't find him anywhere, which was weird because the radar shows that they walk in there. They saw him walking in there. The radar shows that he walked in there, or whatever walked in there, and then just disappeared. And this happened in the army. This is fully reported on, and it's just like that was it.
Was an
And the guy who
alien.
told me is like a straight up guy, like that's the only story he has, like a weird one, and just like a weird story that he had, like
Oh.
no reason. That's why, because like it's usually for me it's the people as well who tell you the stories. Like if I heard it from somebody like me, I would be like maybe it's a lie. But there's some other people who you
Hmm.
would be like, wait a minute, this guy, there's no reason for him to lie to me about this. There was nothing for him to lie about. There was no point to tell me like a story. So that's it. A weird army story there for you. Because he only told me, there was no one
Yeah.
else who he told to. There was nothing, no story to gain, nothing to gain from it. He just told me the story on what happened. I asked him, and he just told me. This is
That is
the only
mad.
thing he has,
With the army,
you know.
yeah.
And he doesn't even like know if it was a ghost or anything. He just knows that one guy passed like a big ass fence that you are not supposed to be able to climb as a human. And he dropped down. Nothing happened to him, and he started running towards uh, like a like a small house,
Maybe
whatever
there
he
was a
said. I
tunnel.
forgot what was it.
Maybe there was a tunnel, you know?
God knows, like I don't know if there was a time, but they will know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because they came into his place. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like they knew the storage that place, because they just went to some random place. You know what I mean? They went into his army base place where they had the borders.
Yeah. I get it.
But hey,
But
some
yeah.
weird stuff you never know.
With the army, yes, man, all the time. So we've got a ghost story from Reddit again.
Move on. Oh, ghost stories. Hmm.
Yes. So this apparently I think they have a ghost or something, but what I'm gonna say, I think that the person is a woman, and
A
she
female.
starts yeah, it's a female, and she
This
starts
is like husband. Yeah,
yeah,
so the husband. So
yeah. We have a ghost. She starts with we have a ghost. I was just telling my husband about the boys. We have five, and our oldest two. What the hell is that? 7.9. Anyways, last night saying the doorknob was rattling, and then one of the toys under the TV stand moved, and they were so scared they were asleep in the same bed last night. And he said, "Oh, F that ghost," and this and that. Then we hear a thud from the hallway, and my oldest son's backpack came off the hook and hit hit the floor. Oh my god. My husband Dan got the story angry. What is going on with the writing, man? Got the ghost angry. Our 8-month old has constantly been seeing a spirit, I believe, in our kitchen, because he will crack up laughing at the ceiling, no ceiling fan or lights. And I've also been having night terrors, hallucinations, again, of the dead people like I did in my first apartment in my mom's house. We recently moved into our house, and someone was actually stabbed to death here. He was stabbed and made it, Jesus, and made a block where he collapsed and passed away in a lady's yard. Our house was on the news. The girl who stabbed him shared my name, just different spelling. Jesus.
Okay, there's some weird ones
What
here.
that is, I don't even know what to believe here. But I'm not,
This one looks a little bit it's funny. Maybe like
it's
I
just
don't
an
know, maybe
angry
a little bit of
ghost. This is like,
paranoia in a little
yeah,
bit,
it's like a
or
movie.
paranoia maybe.
It's like a
You
movie.
know, I feel like in Paranormal Activities, one where the lady just gets followed by,
Yeah,
like, and the
Jesus.
husband and the rest have to. But
Someone
yeah, you
said to
never
her,
know. Like this could like this is what I like about people's stories. Like this can really happen to some people. Like something happening, you cannot understand what that is, and it's just like you will not know this
yeah.
if somebody didn't tell you about it, and just this can happen to people,
It's quite weird now that
and
you
this is
say
what I
that.
like.
When I went to France
Yeah,
for for like Christmas, spent with my family, we spent like 10 days in a chateau, which is like a really
yeah.
old house, but big house, but really old. And when we went inside, we opened the door, and the basement door was open, and then, like
Okay.
the whole building was literally just dark, yeah, no lights whatsoever.
Yeah.
When we opened the door, the basement door was open. So we asked like the next day because we weren't there at night. The next day we did ask the owner of the house, and she said that the the door was locked. So how did the basement open? So yeah, after that night it was quite fun to be there. We were quite a bit scared. Um, because it was a really old house. When I say old house, really old house, at least 100 years old. But yeah. Just a reminder, guys. These stories, when I read them out, sometimes
Yeah.
the punctuation or how
Yeah,
they say
probably the
stuff, it's not the best. So like, I'm trying to make sense of what they say. And we had a reply from these guys post. If you want me to read it out, there's a
which one?
reply basically from another editor. He said that, "Hi, I'm sorry your home is haunted. No one should be and should be frightened, especially children. I had a ghost of a man in my home. I kept seeing him in the middle of my stairway. I read an article on Worked Renewed, medium equal bounding or something like that, to explain a technique to move crossover and residual or intelligent spirits. Let me know if you want me to explain this. It's free." Bro, some people are actually on this. Do you know what I mean?
You look at the next guy. You need to pay for Karan in your mobile phone or TV.
What?
What? What is going on,
I
dude?
don't know. I'll help you get rid of that. I promise you that
What's
it will get rid of it. You have to
oh no,
play the Quran on your mobile phone. Oh my God.
what's going on?
That is not a thing, I think. Like,
I mean, if you're Muslim, you will believe
yeah, I
this
guess so, yeah.
100%. So yeah, if you were Christian, he's gonna put
Yeah,
Bible.
but ghost,
So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. But Muslims do not believe in ghosts. They believe in
no, they
like,
believe in jinns, in jinnis,
yeah,
which
same
are
goes
evil spirits,
PG.
which
That is
technically
even
are
worse.
demons. Yeah, but I think they do believe in ghosts. But they believe that ghosts are just normal, like human souls, like they are good.
Yeah.
And then I think they believe that jinnis are the evil ones, the demons.
Oh
Which
my
I think
God.
the Bible is the same thing as well, where they believe that there is ghosts, but the ghosts are not bad. It's the demons that are
Um,
bad.
the Catholics believe that there's like a little medium stage where they basically get cleansed and then they go
But
up to
yeah,
heaven. Do
I
you
have
remember
a
that?
I have a story which is not a ghost story, but to this day I cannot explain what happened.
Yeah.
Basically, you remember my house in
Yeah,
in
yeah,
in Rhodes,
yeah.
the one that I had now, not the old one, the one that we had now,
Yeah.
it- the one that my parents were living until recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So remember, at some point, I came back to Rhodes, and I was living
Yeah.
alone for a very little while, like a month or two.
Yeah.
Man, those have to be like the scariest, like 2 months. I've never been in another home so scary than that one. I was alone, and every night I could hear like the clock, the everything, just like going slow. You know the classic slowly noise
Yeah.
of everything. And then my mother, she went into the religion now, classic when you get older,
Mhm.
and she's becoming Christian, and she started getting like the Christian stuff, and
Yeah.
she puts the light with like Jesus into the thing and just blows immediately. And I turn back to her and I'm like, there you go. We have demons in this house. They don't want him.
I don't want.
And my mother, she gets mad and she puts another one and it blows up again, bro. And then she puts like a random normal one and it's fine. So I don't know what they're making those Christians one with, bro. But that's not even the story. The one that I have to this day I cannot explain, and I can finally say it because they moved house, so now I don't care. Uh, Basically, my door, like my outside door, you cannot close it by itself. You know, like you can just pull and you know the door closes.
Yeah,
You have to lock it with a key
yeah.
for it to lock. So that means when my parents leave from work, they have to get out of the house, lock the door, and they will just leave me the key onto the window.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I can like get the key, open the door again, get out, you know?
Classic Balkan
Yeah,
techniques.
classic move.
Yeah.
That's why I can say it now because now I don't give a fuck. They don't live there anymore, so no one
Yeah.
cares about the key anymore. So I'm sleeping, and my parents have already left for work, and I wake up and I go like I was about to get out, you know, and I go to the window to check for the keys, and the keys are not there,
Someone stole them.
and I'm like, what happened? And I'm like, did they forget to leave the keys? Did somebody leave to steal the keys or something? And then I see the keys on the door.
Oh
Like the
no.
keys were
On the door or the outside?
no, they were in the inside
Oh.
on the door.
Oh, how are you gonna get in? Hello?
So
Renato, can you hear me?
yeah,
So I think I can't hear you like when you say stuff. So I can
oh
hear
yeah,
you
sorry.
now. Yeah, so what happened next? It was on the door, it was on the inside.
1 second. 1 second.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, whilst Renato's doing something, I would just say that the most Balkan thing ever is to just leave somewhere the key and and you can find your name when you get back home. But yeah, these are quite interesting horror stories. But just let us know what you guys want us to do. Next, we love doing these because it is some time that we can, especially talk with each other and do stuff like these. But
Sorry about
yeah,
that.
that's alright. No worries, you're back. Yeah, so
So
we want to know.
basically,
Go on.
so no, basically what happened is, so as I was saying, the door closes only with a
Yeah.
key. 1 second again.
Okay, you're leaving us on the thing. You're leaving us on a cliffhanger. We want to know, Renato. We want to know. So yeah, he's gone to do something. Not sure when he's gonna be back or something. Probably 5 minutes. So yeah, whereas he does
Uh,
that. Oh, are you back?
yeah, I'm back. Sorry
Got
about
it.
that, guys.
No worries.
We
Are
had
you
to
are you able to say the story now?
Yeah, now I'm back. I'm back
Okay, go
fully
on, go
now.
on.
So where was I? So basically,
Yeah,
as I was saying, they need to get out and leave. So they're gonna lock the door from outside and leave the key on the window
yeah.
because the door cannot close unless you lock it from the outside or the inside, of course. But you cannot lock it from the inside when you're living. And the keys, though, are on the inside on the door, like on top of the door.
Mhm.
So how does
Oh,
that happen?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm on the only guy inside the house, and I was sleeping.
Maybe they forgot to lock it. Your parents?
No. But they locked the door. The door is locked,
Mm, I
but
don't
the
know,
keys are
buddy.
from the inside.
I
That's what I'm
think.
saying. Some weird stuff can happen in life, and to this day, I have no clue how that happened.
Do you know what's the weirdest thing for me? Have you ever went to your, I don't know if you could go to your grandma or your granddad or whatever back in the days and stuff like that and stay there for a day or two, you know, like overnight. Have you ever been to your grandma and it's that little clock? It's the same clock every old person has, like every like grandma, universal, where it's just
Which
like
one?
starts like dung
Yeah,
dung dung. It goes like
yeah, I
dung
know what
dung.
you mean. I
That
have.
shit
We had
scares
kind of the same.
yeah, that scares that scares like the shit
That's what I
out of
was
me.
saying, that you can hear the fridge and the clock in
Yeah.
that whole house, because we had the one of those clocks, so you can hear the tick, tick,
It's such
tick.
a weird thing to have, like such a weird like experience to actually go through with that. I'm not gonna lie.
Because usually you don't hear it, but you hear it at night when
Yeah,
there's no noise, nothing.
exactly. So it's quite weird. But yeah, let's move on because I want to do
Yeah,
another story before we actually finish the podcast. This podcast. It's nice to be back again. We've been hearing
yeah,
a lot
always.
of other stories, ghost stories, but you might find something
I
else
love
in the
I love
future.
sharing stories.
Yeah, me too, man. Paranormal is quite fun. So yeah, the Whispering Walls. That's a new one.
Ooh,
This is like the film The Boy, if you remember. Like no, it's the how was it called?
which one?
It's the Hellboy. Another Hellboy. It was like a horror film where there used to be a boy living between the walls. Do you remember that? It was a horror
I
film.
think I know what you mean, but I don't
Um,
remember the name as well.
Let me see. The Boy horror movie. There we go. The Boy. Yeah, it's literally called The Boy. I used to remember that. That
Was
was
it?
terrifying as
Okay.
well. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, let's move back to the story.
I know,
So
yeah.
it's when I moved into my first apartment, I was ecstatic. Ecstatic. I am, yeah, sorry about that. It was an old building built sometime in the early 900s, 1900s, with creaky wooden floors and high ceilings. The rent was cheap and it was close to work. I didn't care much about the quirks of the place until the whispering started. At first, it was subtle, soft murmurs, like someone talking quietly behind the walls. I thought it was just the neighbors or maybe the wind, but the whispers grew louder, more urgent, and they always came at night just after midnight. One evening, I stayed up late, determined to catch what was being said. I pressed my ear to the cold plaster wall in my living room. The whispering was clear now, a woman's voice, frantic and scared. She said my name. Please, don't leave me. Chills ran down my spine. I lived alone. There was no one else in the building. I started
Uh-oh.
reaching the building's history and found out that years ago a woman named Evelyn, of course it's Evelyn, had lived there. She disappeared mysteriously one winter, never found. The police closed the case due to lack of evidence. The whispering turned into bleeding help me, she said night after night. I didn't know what to do, but I felt compelled to find out the truth. One night I followed the whispers to the basement. There was a loose floorboard near the furnace. I pried it up and found a small rusted box. Inside were letters from Evelyn, her diary, actually describing a man who threatened her, someone she feared. After calling the police with this new evidence, they reopened the case. Months later, the whispers stopped. I don't know if Evelyn's spirit was finally at peace, or if she was warning me my own safety, but sometimes late at night, I swear I still hear a faint whisper, thank you.
This is a cup.
Yeah,
This is a fake
100%. That
story. This looks
100%
like a
that's a
fake
cop.
story.
That is a
This is one of those
fake.
fake stories, you can tell.
That is fake as fuck. Like that
And
is
if
not
this is
even.
real, I
Yeah.
don't know, but the way she
No.
says, like, the story is too makes like too coherent.
Yeah.
I cannot say the word, but like, like it flows nicely
Yeah.
down together, and then has a
Exactly.
nice ending and everything. Like I don't think this is like the previous two. You could tell that they were more real because you saw that the stories didn't, like, it wasn't like a story. It was like somebody saying something and it's like
Yeah.
wrong in a way.
He was
Like
like,
he's not saying
yeah, he was.
completely right.
I think he's making it quite like, oh yeah, nicely. You know what I mean?
I
Everything
see.
falls
The first
apart.
comment is a
Yeah.
good story.
I know. I saw.
So
Oh
yeah,
my
can
god.
tell.
Ooh, I've got another story that's actually quite. This is from Latin America. So they got a
Ooh,
spiritual there as well. They have like these weird kind of traditions in some countries. I'm not gonna say weird. It's just basically not normal to us here. From what I've seen, from what I basically watched on the telly, so I've never been to this country, so I do apologize if I offend anyone with the traditions. But yeah, we have some weird traditions as well, don't we? In our countries. Okay, so this says the night La Llorona tried to enter La
I think
Llorona.
I've heard this.
Is that like a demon? I think.
Yeah, I think I have heard this somewhere on YouTube
Oh,
before. You probably have seen some video about it.
Jesus, there's a
Like top
lot of
top five
writing.
ghost videos or some stuff like that probably
Yeah,
about it.
there is a lot of writing. So yeah, buckle up and
Oh Lord.
let me read it to you. It's probably gonna be our last one, guys. So yeah, hopefully it's good. The following is a real account of our experience in the rural coffee region of Colombia over the last several months. I love some coffee, especially from Colombia. This all began in January, and it has taken us until very recently to uncover the full extent of the localized version of the legend surrounding La Llorona. I remember the name somewhere though. I don't know
Me
from
too.
where. I
I
think it's a
think I've
demon.
heard this. Let
And
me search
piece
this.
together the experiences we have been having.
Ah, there's a movie as well.
Is it? Ah, okay.
Mm.
We are thoroughly freaked out. We had just moved into a house, a secluded finca tucked into the hills near Rio Espejo. Hopefully I say that right, guys. Where the trees dripped mist and the river never sleeps. It was the kind of place you imagine peacefully, fertile, a place to start again. This is probably gonna be a cup, but I still want to read it.
Yeah, we could do the start with the liver cup.
100%. My partner was 4 months pregnant, and we were excited but cautious, still adjusting to the rhythms of the land and the quiet. It started in the first week. Late at night, while we slept upstairs, her mother, brother, and sister, who were staying with us at the time, began to hear something. A voice, a woman's voice, faint but urgent, floating in from just beyond the house. Ayadem? Help me. It didn't come every night, but it came in our first once. Then again, and by the second week they had heard it 3 times, always around midnight to 3 a.m. Always when the
Gosh.
night was heavy with fog and the river hummed louder than usual. This is Defo Cup, man. But let me just read it. They said it wasn't a scream, it wasn't loud. It was worse than that. It was soft, pained, and human. At first, they thought it was my partner calling for help from upstairs. After assuring them it wasn't her, they would look outside, thinking maybe someone was lost, maybe her. But there was never anyone there. The trees stood still. The night kept breathing. The voice faded away. Then came the second week. That night, my partner began to have sudden, severe pain, cramping that felt like contractions. We were terrified. It was far too early for labor. We didn't know what to do. We were upstairs, focused completely on her. And for reasons I still can't explain, we didn't have our phones with us. They were downstairs, forgotten in a rush of fear. We thought we had ridden it out. By morning, the pain had eased. We were exhausted but relieved. Until we spoke to the security guard at the front gate of our conjuncto residential. He asked us what had happened the night before. We said nothing. Why? He told us an ambulance came to your house around 1 a.m. Someone called from here, from your property, said there was a woman in distress. But we hadn't called. No one in the house had. And yet the ambulance arrived, lights flashing, knocking at the gate. Because we didn't answer his call, the security guard refused to let them either. After waiting, they turned around and left confused. We were stunned. The same night the voice had been heard again by her family, closer this time, almost under the window again. Ayadim. It wasn't until we started asking around recently, neighbors, guards, even the older people in the nearby town, that we began to understand and pull the pieces together. We were told very plainly, that's La Llorona. You live near the river now. Pregnant woman, crying children, and pain draw her in like blood in the water. But what's more terrifying to us is that here, in this part of Quintillo, especially near Rie Espejo and La Beida.
We try to go on
Sorry
Spanish
about
there.
that, yeah, the
How
stories
is
go
that
deeper.
Spanish?
I don't know Spanish. Don't speak it.
Bro,
She
bro
does.
tried to do the Spanish accent there and you
Yeah, I know.
changed it.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. She doesn't just cry by rivers anymore. She doesn't just appear in white veils. They say La Llorona has learned how to use a modern word. Oh my God. There are stories of phones ringing and no one on the other end but weeping. Baby monitors catching whispers. Emergency services receiving calls from homes where no one made them. And just like us, ambulances showing up to rural houses in the night, responding to a cry for help that no human ever gave. Some believe she's not just a spirit anymore, she's a pattern, a force that clings to sorrow and technology alike. A kind of ghost intelligence using whatever tools she can to get past the walls of her home, to be let in. And they say if you respond to her voice, if you open the door, even out of kindness or confusion, you give her permission to enter. We didn't hear her that night. We didn't open the door, but she tried. And maybe because we didn't answer, our baby's still safe. At least for now. Our daughter is 6 weeks old now, and she's still trying to get in. At least we know what we're up against. And we can't wait to move away from the river. This is some bullshit. But
You
yeah.
know what's the saddest part about this one? Not just that it's a fake story, but
Yeah.
it's AI generated and he copy pasted it. He didn't even bother to change it on his own words or something. He
Do you
just
think it's
straight up copy
AI?
pasted. It's AI. Look at this. You think somebody put this much effort on it?
Maybe. You know what? Maybe some
No, no,
people
no, no, no.
like
Look,
that.
look at it. Look how it's written.
Yeah,
Like
true.
there is spaces here and there, and then
True.
there's like the three
Yeah.
dots here. This is AI 100%.
Probably.
He just asked ChatGPT to say a story about
Yeah, I know.
La Llorona.
So they said, reading from the replies, they said, wonderful story. Welcome to the magical realism of La Zona Cafetera.
You
Talk
we
to the
lost you. We
locals
lost you.
and seal the house energetically. Could it be a bruja too? It is albicua on
Probably was
its.
the coffee trying to get some story down to get
Probably.
themselves recognized.
Yeah. And there we go. He said again, he replied, he said, we have already tied red ribbons on the crib and at doorways, windows in our bedroom nursery. We will do a more thorough cleans this weekend, most likely. Another interesting part of the story that we just figured out last night, my mum from the US was just visiting it for a few weeks and she saw a man in a large hat walk by the window multiple times. When she brought it up, my partner and her mother both said they had seen the same man. He had a bandana over his face, was tall and wearing dark clothing. I did some research and the description fits very specifically with El Sobreron, a spirit that is said to be feared, fearsome, but also is known to show up as a protector for women and children. We think he could be protecting the house from La Llorona. My mum and partner's family are very sensitive to spirits and energies and never felt any sort of negative or bad energy with them. It's just wild. Everything we learn fits really well with the experiences we have been having. It's super unsettling. It's gonna be this guy against a Larona having having an anime like 1v1
I'm
in the
waiting
end.
for the movie, bro. I'm waiting for the movie.
I'm waiting me too. It's like Naruto versus Sasuke and trying to he's trying to
No, this was
protect.
cap. This was cap. I refuse to believe that's a real story. I mean, it could be, but I
Yeah,
refuse to believe that's a real story, man.
bro. It's like I'm waiting for the movie in the end for the
Like
final
I
boss
think
fight.
so much that it's not a real story that I will 100% go to that house and live in that house with them,
Yeah.
just just to show that there's nothing there. Like shit could be start happening, and I will still not believe it.
Yeah, I
I
know,
will
man.
still be like, somebody's making this stuff up. It's not real. At that point, this is how much I don't believe this guy's story.
Should we do? There's one more. We can do. There's one more story. We got like I think we got a little bit of time for one more story. There's a guy. It's interesting enough. There is a guy that says, "Am I being hunted?" Waking up at 3 a.m. every night. I've had that before. I'll tell you that.
And
I've had
I
that
used to
before.
wake up. I
I
used to wake
used,
up sometimes for
yeah,
toilet.
yeah, same thing. I don't know why, but it was my body got used to it. Do you know what I mean? Waking up every like two
Yeah.
o'clock or
For me,
three
it's
o'clock.
now in the morning. Even if I sleep 2 or 3 at night, I will still wake up at like 6 or 7 in the morning.
No, I wake up today. Funny enough, for today I actually woke up at like 3 o'clock to go to the toilet. But that was because I probably
Yeah.
ate something wrong with me. So when I woke it up from a dream, which I hate doing. But so it says here. Do you want me to start with this?
Yeah.
So it says Emma being haunted, waking up at 9 a.m. every night. I don't really know if this is a ghost story, but I'm really curious if others had similar experiences. I have two bedrooms that I sleep in. This is weird, yeah, but one my sister used to sleep in before she moved out, where and the air conditioner isn't working in my own personal bedroom, where I have a working air conditioner. Lately, I've been sleeping in my room for the AC, and because of the unbearable heat lately, for an entire week, I found myself waking up at exactly 3 a.m. There's a lot of negative energy in my room because of all the horrible memories associated with it. Being depressed, crying, not getting out of the bed. And sometimes I feel watched, and the only way I fall asleep is if my closet doors are closed, which is why I no longer like to sleep in it. Damn. When I googled it, I found out that 3 a.m. is known as the witching hour, which is a time normally associated with a lot of paranormal events. I confided in my friends about the weird coincidence, but they thought I was being crazy. Last night, I decided to sleep in my sister's room instead, just to see if it was my room causing the problems. A tap single knock on the door woke me out of my sleep. It wasn't extremely loud, but it was loud enough to wake me out of my sleep and get my attention. When I checked the time, it was 3:05 a.m. I don't know if this is all a coincidence, but I'm starting to get freaked out. I should also mention that I'm an insomniac and I currently take sleeping pills to fall asleep. Normally I will sleep through the night for an entire week. I've basically been waking up the exact time, no matter if I go to bed early or late. I cannot explain the knock on my door, as I'm certain everyone was asleep at the time. It's almost as if something wanted to wake me up. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking or just being extremely superstitious, but I'm freaked out and want to know if anyone has experienced anything remotely similar. Everything started the second I began to sleep in my old room again. I haven't slept in there 1 or 2 years. And P.S. I know there are medical causes such as circadian rhythm, cortisol, and glucose levels, but I promise they are fine. This phenomenon has to be because of something else. I literally created a Ready profile for this because I am desperate for answers. Also, I've been depressed, and I have a theory that paranormal events are more common where negative energy is predominant. Am I overthinking or this is weird? So I think personally, Renato, that this
Yeah.
is basically he's got something wrong with him, but it's not paranormal activity. Do you know what I mean?
See, here's the thing. He seemed to have done his research though
Yeah,
about his problems on because like even down here the guy mentions like a problem he may have and he immediately had an answer for it.
yeah.
So I
I
think he
think,
has done some research, but I don't know if he has done enough, you know.
yeah.
So I'm gonna tie this back to a game that I play
Okay,
where
to the game.
sometimes people like no this like this how where I got the idea I got it from somewhere else but I forgot, but basically I use it in the game as well where people sometimes you become too good at something,
Yeah,
you know,
he became
where
too
you
good at
think
waking
you
up
are
at three
expert at
o'clock.
it,
Yeah,
but you are not really expert at it.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I
You
mean?
mean, yeah,
So you are good but not good enough.
yeah.
And because you are good, you think you know everything, but you don't know pretty much the important things.
Mhm,
You know what I mean?
mhm.
So maybe he thinks that he knows his medication, everything, but he doesn't know them perfectly, which that perfect is the problem he's
Yeah.
having. So that's what I think is happening maybe on him.
It's a medication.
Now maybe it could be like a brain thing as well, because he keeps thinking about it, and now his brain is doing it on him on
Yeah,
purpose,
yeah. Uh,
and it's basically his brain is playing games with him because he cannot control his brain. Could be that as well,
yeah.
has happened before.
I'll tell you what though about the rooms that he said. I when I used to live with my parents, if you remember my sister's room, do you remember that? I
Which one?
refused to sleep in there. My sister's room
Yeah,
with
and
all
like
the weird like
and
things that
that
she
can
had.
like make you start see stuff, you know, like because you're so afraid of your sister's room, it can make you see stuff that maybe wasn't there to
She
begin
was
with.
a
Because your
weird
sister could,
kid, man. She was a
she
weird.
could sleep, but you couldn't. You know what I
so
mean? Like
so
because she didn't find anything wrong with her room, but you find
bro, she
something
had,
wrong with her.
you know, she had like the you know the dolls that were like
Yeah,
porcelain
yeah, I know,
dolls, like
man. I've
they
been there.
looking, I thought like they were looking at me. I was like, nope, I'm not sleeping here, thank you, nope. Even my mom was scared of that, you know. And she's got
Yeah,
a doll, and she was like,
I think I've slept only once downstairs in your house
yeah,
because I think the other time we always will go upstairs
yeah,
on the third floor. And bro, I'm telling you, I didn't sleep until like 3 or 4 in the morning.
yeah,
Then I had the light in your room open, and the fucking door was like halfway open, and you can look towards the hallway,
Yeah.
and like the light from the room will hit the hallway, and your bed is literally on the position where you can see the hallway. So I would like be from your bed, looking towards the hallway, and I couldn't sleep because I always thought that somebody's gonna come through that hallway
Do you
towards the
what?
room.
Do you
And
want me
your
to
room is next to your sister's room as well, just for in case for people
do? But
who
just for
knows as
like to
well.
make you, yeah. Do you want me to tell you something as well that happened to me?
Yeah,
You know when you get sleep paralysis?
yeah,
The first sleep paralysis I ever had in my life was in that room when I went for a
yeah,
holiday, and I could hear my parents. Like I could hear my, you know how you get a lot of sleep paralysis, so you know how it is. I could hear
yeah,
my parents in the other room, in the kitchen doing whatever. I could hear them voices, and there was someone. I'll tell you what, he was looking at me through the hallway, and I was looking at him. I could not do something. He was with a mask or something like that, like a
yeah.
skeleton.
I'm telling
I
you,
could, bro. I was shitting myself. I was like, I was
your
having sleep
bedroom has a
paralysis,
bad design.
and it was like I was looking at the hallway, and there was someone looking at me straight in the eye. In the hallway. I was like, oh my god, I want to wake up, wake up, wake up. But yeah,
Jesus
after
Christ.
that sleep paralysis, I never had one again. So hopefully I don't have one more. But yeah, I don't really, never used to get them that much. Never. But I know you
Yeah, I
used to
used to
get
get
them
them
a
a
lot. I think
lot.
it's the way you sleep. It's
Nowadays, I don't get them much. I sleep sideways. I don't know about you, but I sleep like
yeah,
sideways.
sideways as well. Now, yeah. But
I always sleep sideways. I
it was
cannot
when
sleep.
I
I cannot sleep like I don't know how people sleep with the back. You know what I mean?
no, I can't sleep on
Like
my back either. I had to sleep on my back
can't sleep on the back.
when I broke my leg. I had to sleep on my back, but it was so hard to sleep.
I think that's when I used to get them as well. When like if I sleep on my back, I think I'm gonna get them.
Oh yes, that's how I got the other one. That's how I got them because I slept on my back, and I
Yeah,
got it. Yeah, I remember that.
because I think it happens because of that. I think something happens with the breathing and the heart or something as well. If you sleep
Yeah, it slows down, something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so that was we haven't got a lot of time left, so we would say um we'll probably finish it here, I think. That was a good
I guess
episode, in
so.
my opinion. We had a lot of fun discussing about other
Yeah.
ghost stories. Yeah. Do you want to add anything before we leave?
Well, not really. I guess hopefully we're gonna be able to do the next one
The
as
next
well.
one
And
after
we are
three
not coming
months.
in 2 months. A lot of stuff happened, guys. A lot of stuff happened from both of us, and
Yeah,
we usually only have like Sundays off, so
yeah, unfortunately we don't have a lot of time
we
to do
have to use the
these.
Sundays. We have to use the Sundays for whatever we have to do.
Yeah, but we like to do it. We like it's like it's a really thing. It's a really nice thing to
It's
do it. We
enjoyable.
since we were kids actually wanted to do something like that. If you remember, we used to do the videos and
Yeah,
stuff. And yeah, but so one day we'll do our faces videos, or we do like a live, not live. We do like a video where we go out somewhere and we get like a little selfie stick and be one of these like
maybe we
yeah.
go Epping Forest. Ooh,
Oh my
we get
god.
lost. If I die there, guys, it's him. It's fucking him. He did it.
Oh, don't
Get
say
him.
that. Don't say
Get
that.
him. Get
No,
him.
no, 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 no.
Get
Don't say
him.
that. Don't say that in the video. It's not gonna be me. Sorry, because if you actually something happens to you and the police finds that, yeah, they're gonna go straight to me. No,
That's
not
it.
involving in that.
I'm
Sorry.
taking you down with me, bro.
All right, no worries, guys. See you later on the next video.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.